Hello Cancer, this is Teresa. Welcome to July. This is Teresa from Tarot by T, and I'm getting ready to do your reading, your July TarotScope. And I want to just call in some good energy surrounding this reading. And I want to say thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you for your comments. I really appreciate all your support, and I read all the comments. And happy birthday if you're having a birthday this July. I hope it's a good one. So let's see what Cancer needs to know. We're having a full moon in Capricorn, so this should affect your relationships. It's going to be a volatile one with Pluto and the moon and Mars and the sun all opposing. The sun and Mars will be opposing the moon conjunct Pluto, and it's squared by Jupiter. So it's going to be July 9th. It's going to be a really powerful full moon. There might be some power struggles. You might see some truths come out in relationships, or find out the truth about relationships. So let's see what's going on in July for Cancer. What is happening in July? For Cancer. In love and life. What does Cancer need to know about love and life? And anything else that's important. I always like to say that just in case there are other energies that need to, like some other message may need to come out. Okay, Queen of Swords, Seven of Swords, the Moon, the Star, the Page of Cups, the World, the Hermit, the Devil, the Queen of Pentacles, the Two of Swords. Okay, let's see. So the Queen of Swords, this could represent you. You may feel that you're very independent in July. You may feel the need to be independent. You maybe have, because if this doesn't represent a person and it represents qualities within you, the Queen of Swords is someone who's been through a lot in their life. They've been hurt, and some of their so they've developed a feeling of independence. And where they feel like they don't need anyone, and they might have, you might have been building up walls around you, like that's okay, I can handle it, I can do it by myself, I don't need anyone, because a part of you is not trusting others because you're afraid of being hurt again. So you have this wall up, and the Queen of Swords can sometimes be a little harsh because of what you've gone through in life. You might have this harsh attitude with others in the month of July. Like you have this bitterness from past experiences that you may want to work on to like release that wall, to break down that wall. You have the Seven of Swords crossing you. So the Seven of Swords is usually known as the thief card or the sneak card. It comes up sometimes when you feel like either you're not letting people know what your plans are. You've got something under development and you're not telling people. Either you're either the thief or the one being stolen from. So either you're trying to steal something from someone, or you have these covert plans, or you feel like someone's trying to take something away from you. It could also come up when you feel like when you're not facing the truth about something, when you've been lying to yourself. So there could be a relationship issue that you're not willing to face. You're not willing to face the truth about some relationship. Maybe you're getting, like when you suspect, it's like a wife or a person who suspects that someone is cheating, but they don't want to deal with it, so they just ignore it. Something like that. I'm not saying that your relationship is that someone's cheating. I'm just saying, pay attention to those subtle feelings that you get. So if you're getting subtle feelings about a situation, you should trust them. If you feel like there's something wrong, that someone's not being honest with you, you need to look deeper and ask questions. Find out what's really going on. Don't act based on what you think is happening. Act on, talk to the person. If it doesn't represent you, then you could be dealing with someone who is like the Queen of Swords. Someone who could be an air sign. That could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And you feel like they're not being honest with you. You feel that they're saying one thing to your face and another thing behind your back. Because the Seven of Swords is like that. It's like a person who is not being truthful. And you may be questioning this person's loyalty. Because you have the moon here. The moon in the past, you have a very active imagination. So you don't want it to go to the extreme of being paranoid and starting and imagining all these things. Like someone's working against me and everybody's against me. That's not really the case. It may not be the case because the moon card just represents confusion and not being able to see things clearly. Sometimes it can represent deception. And if it does, that's why you need to check things out. But the deception could be also self-deception. Like, I'm not seeing the situation clearly. I'm not reading it right. You may think someone doesn't like you for whatever reason. And it may not be the case. It may be something that's going on in their life. And, maybe they just walk by you in the hallway and ignore you. And you're thinking, oh, they hate me. They don't like me. And that's not true. They might be struggling with some problem that you don't even know about. So that's why you need to communicate in July. You need to find out what's going on. Don't overreact. And the star, now the star is in the past too. The star is a dream. You have this goal, you have a dream, and you're wanting to achieve it. And you can achieve it because you have the world in the near future and the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups can represent a new relationship coming up or a new way of loving. The Page can represent a child. So some of you may want to have a child. You might be thinking of having, another child. If the Page doesn't represent a child, it can represent a new love. Because the Page is a messenger. And the Page can represent a message of love that comes to you. So there could be someone in your life that's going to be sharing their feelings with you. Or telling you how important that you are to them. So that's another reason why you don't want to let your mind work overboard. Because Cancer has a tendency to worry and make mountains out of molehills sometimes. So that's why your communication is important. So if you're questioning someone, you need to talk to them. And it may turn out that whatever you were worried about really wasn't there. It wasn't really an issue. With the Page of Cups, though, you have the potential to form a relationship with someone that could really be really wonderful for you. Because the World card is everything coming together. Everything, all the pieces coming together. And it also can mean the end of a cycle where you move to the next level. So if you're in a relationship, you may feel like, I want to take this to the next level. I want to either have some kind of commitment or you just want to, agree to be exclusive, something like that. You want to make some kind of, you want to, move further in the relationship. The Hermit, though, the Hermit's in your negative thinking sector. So the Hermit is saying, you may have been feeling lonely and cut off from others. You have to really do a lot of thinking, like, what do I really want from my life? So you might be evaluating your relationships in the month of July, especially since your birthday is coming up. At birthdays, we always start to evaluate. So where am I? What, another year has gone by. What am I doing with my life? So you might be having that soul searching. You may need to take some time off to think about what you want and where you want to go. And are my relationships giving me what I need? Or do I need to make changes? you have the Devil card here. The Devil card shows there's a strong attraction to someone. You have a strong passion for someone. And it can almost feel like an obsession or an addiction. For some of you, it might be that you're involved with someone who does have some kind of a drinking or drug problem. But if that's not the case, then it could just be a strong physical attraction where you just can't, you know, break out of this relationship. Like you just constantly find yourself drawn to this person. And it's really hard to deal with them because your emotions are so intense when you're around them. Either they know how to push your buttons, or there's just a strong physical relationship. A lot of chemistry. And this could be a person that you're thinking about. The Queen of Pentacles can represent an earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So it could be that you're with, I mean, you might have to make a decision. It could be that you're with someone who's an air sign and you're thinking about someone who's an earth sign. Someone who's very down to earth. Different energy than the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords has a coldness about her and a harshness about her. And this could be male or female. Just because it's queen, it doesn't mean it could be, you know, a male person. So you might be with someone who's kind of reserved and a little bit on the harsh side. And you're thinking about this person who's a little bit more down to earth and warm and, you know, very talented. This person's very talented. If it doesn't represent a person, it could represent your own talents. That you'd like to develop your own talents, but you just don't have enough confidence. Sometimes the Queen of Pentacles, although she's very talented, she has a tendency to doubt her abilities. So you need to overcome your fears, because Cancer has is very concerned with security. You don't like to make a move that's risky. You want to be, you know, you're very calculating. Like, okay, am I going to be safe if I do this? Am I going to get hurt if I do this? Because it's hard for you to deal with rejection. So you might be interested in someone and you're afraid to approach them. Maybe you're afraid of rejection. Like, oh, maybe, do they really like me? Maybe it's my imagination, you know. And again, with this Two of Swords, this is another card of being on the fence. Trying to decide, like you're like almost paralyzed. Like, I can't make a move because I'm afraid to take action. I'm afraid to reveal my vulnerabilities. I'm afraid to let my guard down and let this person get closer to me. So you might be at a standoff with someone where you want to communicate your feelings, but you're hoping that they make the first move because you don't want to put yourself out on a limb. You don't want to take the risk. But I feel that there's a strong attraction here. And I feel that, you know, because you've been hurt in the past, you have a tendency to be a little bit suspicious of anything good that comes in your life. So you might feel like, oh yeah, you know, I know how this is going to turn out, just like everything else is turning out. You know, so don't do that to yourself. Don't be negative. Be hopeful. The Star is a card of hope. And I feel like there's someone who does want to show interest in you, that does want to show, that does like you. But it's at the very beginning stages. The Page of Cups, it could be, and it's someone who's very sensitive, very artistic, very sensitive, kind of a little bit on the immature side, maybe. But very stable, at the same time stable. So you need to drop your guard in the month of July a little bit. Don't be afraid to show your vulnerability. Don't be afraid to take chances to approach someone if you're wanting to approach someone. If you're in a relationship, then you have to stop being suspicious and start communicating. If you're in a relationship that's not working, you need to stop sweeping it under the rug. Face the reality. Like, you know, if this isn't working for me, maybe I need to make some changes. Maybe I need to leave this relationship so I can find my dream person, my soulmate. So you might be having to decide that too. Like, do I stay with what I have, or do I try to find someone new? Because I feel there's a lot of confusion in your life. So you're kind of confused about how you feel and confused about what you want to do. And a lot of it can be based on fear. That's why it's important for you to take some time out to think about, what type of person do I really need? What kind of love would really be satisfying for me? What kind of relationship do I want? You know, I feel like your current situation, there's a lot of denial surrounding it. Like you're not facing the truth, or you're not dealing with reality when it comes to this relationship. So you want to face the truth. You want to find out what you really need, and you want to move toward that direction. Especially with this full moon in Capricorn, things are going to come to a head. Truths are going to be revealed. It could be an emotional time, and there could be some power struggles. So you want to be careful in how you communicate in the month of July. And then we have a new moon, especially since this full moon is going to be in Capricorn. So the moon will be in Capricorn, but the sun will be in Cancer. So, and it's going to be conjunct Mars. So you're going to feel this urge to act. You're going to feel the urge to assert yourself at the full moon. And Jupiter is squaring it, so it's amping up the energy. So it's important to really be diplomatic during this full moon and not go to extremes. Try not to go to extremes. Try not to overreact. And then you're going to have a new moon in Leo on July 23rd. And that will fall in your second house, which is the money house. It's not only the house of money, but it's also the house of self-worth and value. What do I value? Maybe you have to start valuing yourself more. It's a perfect time to start like working on you, working on, hey, you know, I'm worth something, and I need to start respecting myself or loving myself. And it's a perfect time to do that because Mars is going to be conjunct this new moon. So that gives you the energy. That's going to give you the energy. And it's also squaring Uranus, so you might feel like breaking free of some of your inhibitions in July, at the end of July. And going for what you really want. Reaching out for what you really want. And expressing who you really are, because it's Leo. New moon in Leo is about self-expression. It's time to show the world who you are. And that will make you feel more confident. It will enhance your self-esteem. So if you've been hiding your talents at work, you may feel like showing off at the end of at this new moon. Like you might be getting involved in a new project that really shows your skills and gives you a sense of accomplishment. So that could be another potential with that, where you could actually even make some new money, bring some new money in. But it's not so much about money, because I mean, the second house is a money house, but it's also more about what do I value and how do I value myself? What do I accept in terms of value? You know, am I being paid what I'm worth? Am I being treated properly? You know, not putting up with things just because of security. You know, if you're not being treated right, you don't want to stay with someone just because of security, you know, and take abuse. You want to be with someone who values you and respects you. So these are some of the issues that may come up in July. You need to get off the fence and make a decision to pursue a dream and stop ignoring these the tuggings of your heart. Because with the Seven of Swords, I'm feeling like, you know, something is whispering to you from your subconscious and you're sweeping it under the rug. You're not paying attention. You don't want to deal with it. But at some point, you're going to have to deal with it if you want to be fulfilled, if you want to experience this world energy where everything starts to come together. And you're really doing work that you love, and you're feeling like you're with the right person. I mean, everything, you have the potential to experience the world energy, which is one of the better cards of the deck. These two cards are the best cards of the deck, the Star and the World. But to do that, you may have to take a few risks. And more importantly, you have to face the truth. and solve the problem. You can't run away from the problem. This is a card of running away from the problem, avoiding the responsibility. So you have to face it and get through it, and then you're going to experience this, and it's going to involve decision making. So that's why it's so important to know what you want, know what you really need, so that you make the right decisions. And drop your guard. In a relationship, definitely with this Two of Swords, drop your guard, lay your cards on the table with someone, have a conversation, an honest, you know, don't hide your, no pretense conversation, like, hey, this is what I need, lay your cards on the table, and how can we work together to solve this? And you can, I'm pretty sure you can, that will break the stalemate that you might be experiencing. So then, you know, all's well that ends well. So this is my my reading for July. I hope this has been a help to you, and I wish you happy birthday, much luck, much love, and I will talk to you again in August. Thank you, Cancer.